Today on Chasing the Sun,
stone crabbing, is that what we're into?
Stone crabbing.
It's time for some stone cold crabbing.
Do you actually reach in to where he lives and you pull him out?
Deep, dark hole on the bottom.
I don't know about that, bro. I'm gonna be straight with you.
You really want to look for that tide to flush onto a flat.
So stone crabbing up here in the Panhandle is actually like a wintertime activity.
Do you guys know how long it takes to get hypothermia in 85-degree water?
Even though you're really close to other people, when you're underwater, nobody can hear you. It's just you interacting with nature, and that's it.
Oh, check that out.
So, I need to put my finger right here.
Yeah.
You just break it off.
Hey, good work, dude. We stone crabbing now.
Chasing the Sun is brought to you by Island Murata and Stewart Boat Works, from flats to fathoms. Kicker Audio, living loud. Pelican, built to protect. Mercury Marine. And by Z-Man, the science and art of fishing.
All right, got Justin Buxton here.
How you doing, Justin?
He's well known for his fish tacos around these parts, but today we're gonna use him for his crabbing experience.
That's right. Y'all ready?
Stone crabbing, is that what we're into?
Stone crabbing.
All right, so the part of the world I'm from, you know, we pull traps in the boat. You stick your hands in there and you grab the claws and you pop them off. I understand this is gonna be a little different. What are we doing?
No traps.
How do you catch a stone crab without a trap?
You go to their home and you invade it. You pull them out without, without trying to get pinched, and you just ask him for his claw, and if he gives it to you, you put him back in his hole and let him live.
Hold on, so what you're saying is you actually reach in to where he lives and you pull him out?
That doesn't sound very safe.
Deep, dark hole on the bottom.
I don't know about that, bro. I'm gonna be straight with you.
So stone crabbing up here in the Panhandle is actually like a wintertime activity. I think when most of the country thinks of wintertime activities, water sport is not on the menu.
Right.
But it's a little different up here. Usually in the fall and the winter, the water remains relatively warm.
Not too bad for us.
Yeah, that's right.
We know we're used to that.
Now Travis, coming up from Key West, 80 degrees is starting to get, jackets and boots weather for him.
Right.
Do you guys know how long it takes to get hypothermia in 85-degree water?
So, of course, we had to make a pit stop by the Panama City Dive Center.
Right.
Pick him up a wetsuit.
How can I help you, gentlemen?
We're going, what are we doing? Stone
We're
crabbing?
gonna go find some stone crabs.
All right,
I need a wetsuit because it's chilly.
I bet.
Travis Holman.
And by
Go
chilly, he means like 85 degrees.
That's right, he's from the Keys.
That's right.
Chili's, anything where I gotta put a jacket on, that's cold.
The only suit I got's a wetsuit.
Let's do it.
Well, that was our first plan, was just to get him a wetsuit so we wouldn't get cold, trying to take care of Travis. But then that turned into somehow, now he's going to
Dive
do tanks and all kinds of gear and a BC and, we're stone crabbing in what, 2 feet of water?
2, 3, 4 feet.
Oh yeah, little Jacques Cousteau style.
Okay, and then your weights go here. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you also got weight pouches in the back here for trim tabs.
But hey, that's the Holman motto, anything worth doing is worth overdoing, so.
This is a perfect place to go diving because we have all different depths. We have also all different kinds of diving. We have beach diving over at St. Andrews State Park where you're gonna go for the stone crabs, okay? and behind Shell Island is real good. And then you also have freshwater springs an hour north of here. So if the Gulf is rough or you want something very simple and controlled, you can take them to the springs. And then out in the Gulf, we have a lot of wrecks that are very easy to dive. You know, in fact, most of the Southeast uses Panama City for their students. And I was washing it off. It just been sitting in the back of the van. This is mine. But he's got a big head, so he could probably use this one. All right, big head. Give him a little.
So what do you do for your mustache?
I do like this and get it up here. There you go.
When I saw all the gear and the wetsuit, I was like, oh God. Without knowing his background,
Yeah.
you know. That was pretty funny.
Well, the first shot might not actually be. Like you look at the Link of Boudin and everything.
Actually, you'll be quite warm in that thing.
You got some rice in there?
I fill it up for sure.
You don't have to worry about it being too loose.
No, sir. I definitely got.
That'll work.
October 15th is one of my favorite days of the year because it's opening of the stone crab. You see that like little mound of sand where that's broken, where there's some shells? That looks, you know, looks like there might be something there.
We're on the board. Hey, good work, dude.
As soon as you came back to the boat with that first crab, my gears started turning.
Our trip, you know, I showed up at the marina and you know, saw the boat we were gonna take out, and right there I was kind of excited just because pretty sweet boat. And told y'all where I wanted to go, where I thought, you know, I had a dream that this might be the spot, because this was the week after season open, and usually the crabs get hit a little hard from people the first week of season if the weather's good. The ride out was great. I mean, that boat, the Isla Mirada,
Yep.
that thing is sweet. I mean, we were doing what, 50 miles an hour and maybe 2 to 3 foot chop down the beach, so I was impressed. You know, we're out there and I was explaining to y'all what we're gonna be looking for. You know, like we're gonna be shallow, grass, the turtle grass, the real pretty green grass, and we're gonna be looking for the white sand holes, our beautiful white sand. You know, the crabs get in there and they dig out. They make them a hole, their house, and so you look for these patches of sand, and that's telltale that if you see several of them together, that's a good spot. You really want to look for, you got the tide coming in and out, and so you almost want to look for that tide to flush onto a flat. Grass flat. So you want the grass, the sand mix, that depth anywhere from 2 feet to 5 to 6 feet. The spot we went to, we had trouble finding them. It looked perfect, you know. I guess that's part of it. It's like fishing.
That's exactly.
You
That's what I was thinking
yeah.
too. You know, it doesn't matter how good something looks. You can have a theory. That's what's fun about it. We get out there and test those theories.
See that like little mound of sand where that's broken, where there's some shells? That looks, you know, looks like there might be something there.
Do you think it's worth getting in the water and just looking around?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
I got a real good idea, Justin. We're gonna try out your smoked tuna dip. You throw a mask on and look for some stone crabs, and everybody wins, right?
You know, part of being on vacation is eating.
We're like kids. When you want kids to have fun at something, you bring a lot of good snacks.
All right, rotation.
Hard day at work. Only bad thing is, if there's a bunch of crabs here, that means we're having to stop eating, get in the water.
When we're done.
So I love crabbing. You know, all through the summer, it's hot here, you know, we're busy. I got restaurants, I'm just running all day long. October 15th is one of my favorite days of the year because it's opening of stone crab. Believe it or not, the smaller crabs are a little worse than the big crabs. For one reason, whenever they pinch, it's like 100%, there's no space in between on a smaller claw. And so it stings. They get you so good, and they still have the strength. They usually get you on the edge, and so it's got you on the skin. It's just pinching and pinching like a vice grip.
He's digging.
Oh, check that out.
That's the big claws.
See?
Is that legal size claws there?
Pretty sure you got a little ruler.
So where do you measure? From here
there to that tip.
Yeah.
So that one's good.
All right, so show us the proper breaking technique.
So I need to put my finger right here.
Yep.
You just crank it off.
So you leave that pocket right there.
If you take this pocket out, there's a good chance it'll die. Every now and then it happens, you know, it's just nature of the beast.
Right on.
Go.
We're on the board. Hey, good work, dude. We stone crabbing now. As soon as you came back to the boat with that first crab, my gears started turning, you know.
You were ready.
I was ready, okay? When I saw the gold in the hands,
right,
I was like, all right. I put the tortilla chip down, picked the mask up, and I started getting ready. What I want to do is stand here for a while and try to get used to the water, because it's almost 80 degrees, the water is. It still feels a little chilly. But I noticed Travis didn't flinch.
No.
This is great. I'm keeping the boat with him. We're able to do the deal so I can retrieve claws and still see the whole thing happening from above and not actually have to be freezing my butt off.
Because now the way he sees it, I got two guys in the water crabbing for me.
This is just entertaining for me to watch these guys flail around.
Yeah, I guess he's smarter than we think.
Yeah, maybe, that's right. He said he's coming over here too. I thought he meant like we're getting in the water coming over here.
Taking the boat to the people.
I'm gonna act like I'm doing something by holding the trolling motor remote. Although he's not even really driving the trolling motor because you're just gonna drift right to it.
Yep. I'm doing exactly what I need to do right now. Stay dry.
You know, another thing is just the serenity of kind of being there with people, but you're also by yourself.
This thing weighs like 80 pounds.
That gear was taking up all the room all day, so I guess it went to good use. Because we did get some cool shots underwater.
That I really didn't know what I was getting into. All I know is last year you did this on Chasing the Sun.
Right.
When they're this big, you can take both claws. Everybody has their own theory, but they're territorial. So if another crab goes in its hole, they fight.
And I conveniently made sure my schedule was really busy around that time because we had talked about this stone crab show. And I've heard these stories about how it happened. Something about like big dark holes and animals with giant claws in those holes, and you reach in there and grab them. So
yeah,
I realized that I was going to have to man up eventually and give it a shot, and now I'm glad I did. You know, another thing is just the serenity of kind of being there with people, but you're also by yourself. You know, we talk a lot. You know, when we're on the boat fishing, especially, we talk the whole time.
You're right.
But that's another thing that changes is even though you're really close to other people, when you're underwater, nobody can hear you. So all these things you see and experience, you can really absorb it because there is nothing else kind of, you know, clouding your vision or, you know, interacting with you. It's just you interacting with nature, and that's it.
I agree.
I know we're creating some interest with Travis.
Yeah.
I can tell, you know, we're actually pointing out some holes. you know, I reach in there, caught my first stone crab.
Yeah.
Yes! You know, so as we're starting to get some action here, you can tell he's wanting to get involved. You know, he's got all his gear in the boat, dive tanks and stuff.
You know what I always think every time you get it used or a rental wetsuit? How many other people have peed in these things? This thing weighs like 80 pounds.
And I realize now what it was that got him in the water. When we were talking about we need some underwater footage of this. He realized he could grab that camera, get in the water with us, get in on the action without having to reach in the hole.
That gear was taking up all the room all day, so I guess it went to good use. Because we did get some cool shots underwater.
So Justin, I appreciate you dragging me out there. I did not think it would happen, but I will say, after experiencing it, now that I know what I'm getting into,
right?
I'm actually looking forward to next season, next year.
I kind of get it. It's a little bit of a rush. Like I had his big claw. I couldn't really get to the other claw. So I just kind of held on and kept pulling. I reached in there, pulled out. I could feel something hard, and the claws are still pretty hard on this crab, but the shell itself, the body is soft.
I can't say that I'm going to do it on a regular basis, you know.
Okay.
But when you invite me out there next time, I will be on the boat. I'll probably be there early. I won't bring any food. I'm going to let you bring the food again.
I got that covered.
And we're going to go do it again.
Man, I look forward to it. You know, it's a great day. We all made it back with our fingers. So I don't know if Travis will come.
We'll see.
We'll talk him into some underwater footage.
He's questionable.
Well, hopefully he does, man.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And yeah, look forward to it again. It was a blast.
Coming up, we learn what's under the sea and how we got there at the Man in the Sea Museum.
The basic Navy diving piece of equipment or the John Wayne suit. You know, kids understand that.
Chasing the Sun has been brought to you by Native Eyewear, built for the backcountry. Florida Fishing Products, fish better, fish Florida. Dulce Vida Tequila. Extra Tough, the original fishing boot. And by Visit Panama City Beach. The history of diving is on display right in Panama City Beach. The Man in the Sea Museum walks you through the old ways of deep sea exploration and the tools these pioneers used to learn and survive the depths of our oceans.
We're standing in what we call the Man in the Sea Museum, and the museum basically is designed to show the general public who doesn't know anything about diving what diving's really about, how man lived underneath the ocean to recover such things as gold or a ship recovery and so on. So we built it around basically the history of diving. The museum really was devoted initially to expand and display what the U.S. Navy diver does. But we had to do the preview of showing people where diving really came from. In Panama City, is the home now of all U.S. Navy diving training, and that's done over on the Navy base. We decided that we make the center room of the museum dedicated basically to all the saturation work that the U.S. Navy had done. Our intention basically was to bring the museum back to what the U.S. Navy does in diving, because they're the people that do all the basic diving. All the rest of the things what are done by these people that do scuba, you know, and so are really the net effect of what the Navy has done in the water. Now, Sea-Lab 3 is when I joined the group at the tail end of Sea-Lab 2, and I had to learn as much as I could from what they did on Sea-Lab 2 to make Sea-Lab 3 a better piece of equipment. After Sea-Lab 3, I was gifted to build basically the United States Navy ocean simulation facility, which is now operated in the very beginning by the U.S. Navy.
If you're interested in how diving and undersea technology has shaped our world, a trip to the Man in the Sea Museum is worth a look.
So you said John Wayne, I think of Cooper Gooden Jr. in one of those. And what was that? Men of Honor.
Oh,
you know
okay, all right, yeah.
What year was this?
Oh my gosh, back in the early or late 1800s to early 1900s.
Wow.